look at page number 17, all of you at the bottom. Do you find worksheet 2.1, balance sheet for Tim and Andrea Shepherd? So no need to read the paragraph. Next page, directly look at the balance sheet example which they have given. So as you can see in the balance sheet, left side they have shown assets and right side they have shown liabilities and net worth. Okay. So in assets on the left side we have first liquid assets. Now see the examples of liquid assets they have included. Cash on hand. Make it current accounts, not checking accounts. Current accounts means your business bank balance. Current account is also your wealth only. So all the cash balance and bank balance, savings account. Now money market and deposits and funds, these are short-term investments. Okay, money market, deposits and funds are considered to be short-term investments. Certificate of deposit in bracket is given less than 1 year. Then that will be included in liquid assets. Investments will include the long-term investments like stock, bond, certificate of deposits. Make it more than 1 year in bracket. Mutual funds, retirement funds, IRA means insurance schemes, etc. Total investments. Now real property, primary residence, second home, 2 houses here, one where you live, the other second extra house, so second home, and others. And personal property, autos like Corolla is there, car, again Ford Focus is there. Recreational vehicles, household furnishings, then like jewelry, as we had a confusion. So jewelry, etc. we always included personal property. Yes, but if you purchase gold bonds, then that is an investment. But hard gold, solid gold or jewelry, etc. will consider in personal property. And others. Liabilities side, first they have short-term or current liabilities. That includes utilities, outstanding utilities, okay? Rent, insurance, premium taxes, medical bills, outstanding repairs bills, bank credit card balances, departmental store credit card balances, travel and entertainment card balances, then gas and other credit card balances, bank line of credit balances, and other current liabilities. Long-term liabilities, primary residence mortgage, second home mortgage, real estate investment, auto loans, appliances or furniture loans, home improvement loans, single payment loans, education loans, margin loans, and other long-term liabilities. The difference between the two on the right side you can see net worth. That is 1 is total assets, then 3 is total liabilities, 1 minus 3, the total liabilities and net worth are the difference between the two. Any confusion in this? So let us take up with question number 11. 10A was done yesterday. Now examinations, question number 11B on page 36. From the following of assets and liabilities of Vrushab B and Hemang Patel, prepare balance sheet as at 31/12/13. Okay. Anushka, cash on hand. Which asset? Liquid asset, marketed as LA. Then they will balance in savings account. Savings account bank balance will be which asset? Liquid asset, LA. Then Mohini furniture. Furniture, personal property. Okay, market as PP. Then Kamal, residential house property. Real property, RP. Then Supriya, outstanding telephone bills. Short-term liabilities or current liabilities. You can mark it as CL. Dushyant, outstanding gas and electricity bills. Current liabilities, CL. Shreya, home loan. Long-term liability, LTL. Hiran, farmhouse. Real property, RP. Then Malhar, mutual funds, investments, ILV, or gold ETF. Investments, ETF is electronically traded funds. That's like a mutual fund. As I said, gold jewelry will come in personal property, but ETF is an investment. Is everyone clear with it? Then, Gaurav, money market deposits. Money market deposits, if nothing is mentioned, we assume they are less than 1 year. So, market as CA, current assets, LA, liquid assets. Then, Sangamitra, jewelry, personal property, PP, Maida, automobiles, personal property. Real property means land, building related items only. Okay, automobiles will be included, automobiles, car, two-wheelers will be included in personal property, PP. Then, real automobiles loan, automobiles loan, long-term liability, LTL, shall be outstanding credit bills, credit card bills, current liabilities, CL, current outstanding medical bills, current liabilities, CL. Mansi, education loan, long-term liability. Okay, education loan will be always for long period of time. What is the general procedure of education loan? You borrow the loan and after you get the job, you start paying it. So suppose after your graduation, if you take loan for doing MBA, then until 2 years when you are doing MBA, you are not supposed to pay anything. After that, when you get the job, then you start repaying the loan. That is the concept of education. It's always a long-term liability. Then, Pari, freehold land at Ahmedabad, real property, RP. Then, Prakriti, government bonds, investments. Pushti, shares of Reliance Limited, investments. Did you understand this classification, everyone? Yes. So let us make the balance sheet. See, there are two ways of doing the examples in exams. Either you do the markings and then directly write the things in order only. Or else, if you don't want to waste the time on markings, then directly you start solving and as and where the information comes, you put it leaving the ideal space. But in personal finance, the time will never be a constant. So I'll suggest you read the question and do the markings. Like you do cost sheet examples in costing subject that way. Okay, because you'll get idea if there is any complication in the question or not. So first we take up with all the liquid assets items. All the things marked as LA at one time itself will record. So cash on hand 45,000. Anyone still making the format? Raise your hand. Cash on hand 45,000. Now here is a matter of practice. We write all the items in some inner columns because later on when we come to the third topic, solvency ratios, when we find measurement of ratios, they will require the total of each category. So all the assets you write them in the inner column and take the total of sub items in the outer column. So cash on hand 45,000. Then savings account balance. Then furniture. No, not furniture. In liquid assets, next item we have money market deposits 25,000. Nothing else is marked as LH. So 2,66,000 are total liquid assets with the family. Okay. And this also helps in understanding the financial position that your liquid assets of so much amount means it is as good as cash. Whenever you need the money, 266,000 will be available in your balance. Then investments, mutual funds, 80,000. Then after investments, in the order what next asset do we take? Real property. Everyone has completed up till investments? Now real property, farmhouse 17 lakhs, and then personal property. Yes? What happened? No one should be operating the mobile in between. Personal property, jewelry of 4,40,000. Yes, what is going on? Automobiles of 5 lakhs. No other personal properties. So 2, 6, 11, 62 lakhs. 11 lakhs 62,000. Is everyone clear with this? Now, asset side, so liability side. First, current liabilities. Outstanding telephone bills 1100. Outstanding gas and electricity bills. Outstanding credit card bills 12,000. So 35, 47, 48, 900. Okay, total current liabilities 48, 900. And then long-term liabilities 4 lakhs. So 28 lakhs of long-term liabilities. So all are clear with this? Now first of all, assets. 45, 56, 58, 60, 61 lakh 28,000. From that, if you subtract 28 lakh 48,900, then you'll get 32 lakhs 79,100. That is net worth. In bracket balancing figure. So everyone is clear how to find this net worth and how to make the balance sheet. Any confusion in this? All are clear with it? So now we take up with the money measurement ratios. Okay. Give the heading in your notebooks, money measurement ratios. We take understanding of that, and then all are mixed examples only, wherein income statement is also to be made, balance sheet is also to be made, and then money measurement ratios are also to be calculated. So give the heading in your notebooks, money measurement ratios. Okay, first one, write down solvency ratio. This shows whether your family is going to be solvent in a long period of time or not. So based on your liabilities and based on your net worth, it can be decided. The formula is net worth divided by total assets. This will show your solvency ratio. Okay, so net worth, we already know how to find total assets minus liabilities gives us net worth. And suppose our assets are like, for example, in this situation itself, our assets are 61 lakh 28,000. Net worth is 32,79,100. Means out of 61 lakh 28,000, your own money invested in that is 32,79,100, and remaining you borrowed from outside. You can say approximately 50%. If you count it exactly, you get it in percentage, but 50% of your assets are owned by your own money. So that's a good solvency ratio. Major part of your assets is with your own money. And 100% solvency ratio comes majorly when you don't have any long-term liabilities. Then it is the best solvency ratio. Don't have any debts only. Current liabilities will always be there. That's a very minor amount. But if you get very close to 100%, 95%, 98% solvency ratio, that is the best ratio which is possible. Okay. So here just you can note down that net worth is total assets minus total liabilities. Did you understand this, everyone? Then liquid ratio. This shows how much is your position of liquid assets against the current liabilities. As in financial management also we used to find, it shows your ability to pay the money in 1 year period of time. So current assets, here we call them as liquid assets upon current liabilities. But I already discussed with you that current liabilities should also include those long-term loans which amount we have to pay in the next 12 months. So mention over here where current liabilities will include the EMIs of long-term liabilities payable in next 12 months. Okay. Current liabilities will include the EMIs of the long-term liabilities which are payable in next 12 months. Any confusion in this? Then savings ratio. It is equal to cash surplus divided by income after tax. Okay, cash surplus divided by income after tax. That is savings ratio. How much you are able to save. So whatever are your incomes minus expenses, you'll get cash surplus, and your income after tax will get income minus taxes. Okay, so savings ratio is like income after taxes, income minus taxes. Is everyone clear with it? So how much proportion you are able to say? Suppose your income after tax, income is 10 lakhs, tax is 1 lakh, your income after tax is 9 lakhs. And after making all the expenses, you are left out with a surplus of 2 lakhs. Then you can say your cash surplus or savings ratio is 2 lakhs divided by 9 lakhs. And the last one is debt service ratio. Debt service ratio. Debt service ratio means whatever monthly EMIs we have to pay for all the loans, will we be able to pay them or not? Do we have sufficient monthly income to pay those EMIs or not? Suppose you have home loan where you are paying every month 20,000. You have car loan where you are paying every month 8,000. You have televisions, refrigerators on EMIs where you are paying a miscellaneous amount of 3,000. So 20 plus 8 plus 3, 31,000 you have to pay every month. Now how much is your monthly income? You pay 31,000 every month, means your monthly income should be at least 55,000-60,000, double of that. So that you are able to pay those expenses, and after that you are able to meet household expenses also. So debt service ratio measures that. Will you be able to pay the installments every month or not? So what we do is monthly loan payments, or you can say EMIs, divided by gross monthly income. Okay, debt service ratio is monthly loan payments divided by gross monthly income. Gross monthly income means before tax. Like the earlier one is net monthly income, income after tax. Here gross monthly income is income before tax. Is everyone clear with it? And keep it in mind, we are taking monthly everywhere. So if you are given with annual amounts, first we shall divide it by. Is everyone clear with this? Any confusion with this 4 ratios formulas? So let us take up with few questions based on solvency ratios. Look at question number 4 on page 32. Question number 4 on page 32. From the following financial information of Ram and Shyam, calculate the money measurement ratios for them. So all the 4 ratios we have to find and then comment on that. First of all, total liabilities are 15 lakhs and 25 lakhs for both. So from the total liabilities, total liabilities are 15 lakhs and 25 lakhs for the both. So we will be able to get the net worth from the same total assets minus total liabilities. Current assets are 5 lakhs and 9 lakhs. Investments are 20 lakhs and 22 lakh 50,000. Property and real estate is 10 lakhs and 40 lakhs. So these 3 total will give us total assets, because personal properties I don't find. Okay, so current assets plus investments plus property and real assets will give us the total assets. Then gross income means annual income. So when we have to do this debt service ratio, we'll have to divide it by 12. Monthly loan payments are directly given. Total expense is already given. So cash surplus would be gross income minus total expenses. Current liabilities are given to you and tax rate applicable is given. So that we will apply on the income and find the net amount of income after tax. Is everyone clear with it? First we'll do whatever calculations are required in columnar form for both of them, and then we will apply the formulas. So read out. So first of all, Ram and Shyam. Let us analyze what informations do we need to find first before we apply the formulas. First ratio of money measurement ratio is solvency ratio. What is the formula of solvency ratio? Net worth. Do we have net worth? We'll have to find that. Divided by total assets. That also we don't have. We'll have to find first. Okay, so both of them let us find it first. Total assets means 3 assets total. Current assets. That is 5 lakhs and 9 lakhs. Then investments, that is 20 lakhs and 22 lakh 50,000. Property and real estate, that is 10 lakhs and 40 lakhs. This will give us the total assets. So 35 lakhs, 71 lakh 50,000. Did everyone understand this? Okay, and from that you minus the total liabilities, you will get net worth. Dushyant, are you writing it? This class will be okay. Total liabilities of both are 15 lakhs and 25 lakhs. So what is the net worth of Ram? 20 lakhs and Shyam 46 lakh 50,000. Did everyone understand this? Let us see what else now. What is the second ratio we find? So net worth and total assets both are okay for the first ratio. Second, liquid ratio, what is the formula? Liquid assets, we have their current assets upon current liabilities we directly have. So no workings are needed for that. Third one, savings ratio, what is the formula? Cash surplus divided by income after tax. So cash surplus, first of all we'll find income minus expenses. Okay. So what is the gross income of Ram? 1 lakh 50,000 and 1 lakh 85,000. Is everyone clear with it? On that they have to pay tax at the rate of Okay, Ram is 20% and Shyam is 25%. So 1,50,000, 20%, how much tax you would have paid? 30,000. And 1,85,000, 25%, how much tax you would have paid? 46,250. So income after tax. 150 minus 30, 120, 185 minus 46, 1,38,750. This is income after tax, okay? Further, if you subtract the expenses, you get cash surplus. Actually, in expenses, tax is also included, which we already subtracted. Which are the other expenses given? 75,000 and 1,25,000. So 120 minus 75, 45,000, and here 13,750. That is cash surplus. Did everyone understand the concept? Any doubts with it? Then which is the fourth ratio? Debt service ratio. That is monthly loan payments. They are already given. Divided by gross monthly income. That is also already given. Gross income. So nothing required in the working. So now we can find all the ratios. Okay. Let us find all the ratios. First one, solvency ratio is equal to net worth divided by total assets. Do it in columnar form itself. So otherwise 2 times you would apply the formula. For Ram, what is the net worth we obtained? 20 lakhs divided by total assets 35 lakhs 0.57. And for Shyam, net worth 46 lakh 50,000 divided by total assets 71 lakh 50,000 0.65. Any confusion in this? Second which ratio? Liquid ratio. Liquid assets or current assets divided by current liabilities. So what are the liquid assets we have obtained? It's already given in the question. We have not obtained it. What is the liquid asset or current asset of Ram? See in the question, everyone. 5 lakhs. Do you all find the liquid assets or current assets of Ram? 5 lakhs in the question. And divided by current liabilities are also given in the question. How much are Ram's current liabilities? 2 lakhs. So 2.5. And for Shyam, what are the liquid or current assets? 9 lakhs. And what are the current liabilities? 5 lakhs. So 1.8. Then third one is savings ratio. Cash surplus divided by income after tax. Now cash surplus is 45,000 for Ram divided by income after tax 1,20,000. So 0.375. And cash surplus for Shyam is 13,750 divided by income after tax 138,750. 0.09. And last is debt service ratio. monthly loan payments divided by gross monthly income. We assume that the income given is monthly only. Okay, because monthly payment of loan 25,000 means annual payment comes to 3 lakhs. So if you are having annual income of only 1,50,000, you cannot pay loan of 3 lakhs. So whatever income is given in the question, we assume it is monthly income. So what are the monthly loan payments of Ram? 25,000 divided by what is the gross income given to you? 1,50,000. So 0.17. And in case of Sham, the monthly loan payments are 95,000 and divided by 1,85,000. 0.51. Did everyone understand this ratios? Any doubt in it? Now we will write the comments on that. So that will write in the next lecture. Okay. Meanwhile, leave one page for that. Okay. You can do question 3 in homework. It is similar to the one we did right now. So question 3 will be your homework, and leave one page here. The comments and assumptions will write it in the next lecture. Then for question 3 again you write it in homework. Okay. Bye everyone.